Hello, everyone. It's 12:03, so we are going to get started with Speaking Facts in 15. So I'm bringing us in or starting us off how we ended last week with devotion. Dad, you were singing us out last week. So Charlamagne Armstrong, Kiss Wealth Now, and I'm the host of Speaking Facts in 15, and I'm going to pass it off to my dad, my co-host.
Hey, this is J.R. Stewart. I'm also the co-host of Facts in 15. We're speaking generational truth here, truth from one generation to the next. And I am just pleased as punch, as they used to say, that we have Corey Fike with us on the podcast today. What's up, Corey?
What's happening, everybody? How's everybody doing out here today?
Our special guest today, we are doing fabulous.
Yes, we
appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me. It's definitely an honor. So I do appreciate it.
So today we wanted to start off with where we left off with last week, because we definitely had a lot of people who chimed in and had many thoughts and feelings about music, songs that inspire them to get up and cook, or inspire them to get up and clean, or just even achieve their goals. So we wanted to talk about music on a different level, and even a deeper level, so we can understand how we all vibrate, I should say, in the frequencies that we're on when we're listening to music, and the places that we can go when we're listening to music. So Corey, you're one of the people who reached out to me. So thank you so much for doing that and sharing with us your tenure in music and you studying music and just the information that you can provide to us today. That's going to give us a deeper understanding on a different level.
Absolutely. And just once again, I really appreciate you guys having me on. I think it was the last episode that you guys covered when you guys brought up this great topic about just music and the effects that it has on our everyday being, right?
Right.
And I just over the course of years, I've done a lot as far as music. I studied music composition, modern music composition throughout the years. And I've really been able to kind of tap into pretty much the suggestions that were provided in your guys' last episode. And I just wanted to kind of chime in and provide some additional insight. Like the human body is definitely pre-exposed to different types of frequencies. This is not anything outside of the normal. It makes a lot of sense from a scientific perspective as well. Saying that the human body is made up predominantly of water, right? And water itself is really prone to waves and frequencies. We are very adaptive when it comes to frequency. I mean, like I want to use this term kind of loosely, but it's almost as if human beings have a built-in transponder, if you will, that is allowed to accept different types of frequencies. And it's not just music. I think even other animals can kind of vibe on those same waves, on those same frequencies. For example, they use some canines now are being utilized to identify elements like cancer, right?
Right.
And they're saying that if the research is pointing at these frequencies that humans produce when we're happy, when we're sad, or even when we're sick, like when we have ailments, our bodies are going to resonate at a different frequency. So
right.
I just wanted to provide that tidbit of insight there.
Yes. And I think that's very key, to know that the animals that are around us can, they used to say they could smell it on you, but like you say, this is actually a frequency.
It's a vibration.
It's a vibration.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so through these vibrations, we're able to communicate without even having to say anything, right? That's the deeper level of it. And so, from your standpoint, and Dad, you guys both can chime in, Dad, you always say that our thoughts, say your favorite line. I should know by now.
Well, thoughts become things. One of my favorite quotes is George Clinton from Funkadelic. It says, every thought felt as true or allowed to be accepted as true by the conscious mind takes root in your subconscious, blossoming sooner or later into an act and bears its own fruit. Good thoughts bring forth good fruit. And then there's thoughts rot your meat. Think right and you can fly.
I love it.
So our thoughts are these vibrations, our thoughts are these frequencies that we're able to pull off of one another. And so when we're listening to music that maybe doesn't, help me out with my word, I'm probably drawing a blank, that doesn't necessarily suit our vibrations or does not embrace or put off the energy that we need to be successful, the music that we listen to can definitely affect, what it is that we're trying to accomplish, or what we're giving out. We can listen to a song that could be so hard and maybe go shake someone's hand and they feel that energy, things like that.
Well, yeah, we are, and Corey, you used the word a moment ago when we were talking. We were having a little production meeting before we came on. You used the word transponder.
That's right.
Because we are because our bodies are mostly water, and if you can throw a pebble in the water, you can thump a glass of water or whatever, and you see ripples of waves, and our bodies, really everything in our body, our blood, the fluids, our bones, everything are susceptible to vibration. I mean, we know that there are weapons that produce sound at a great enough velocity that they can harm you without
absolutely. I mean, I think you're definitely hovering directly over the target. I think it was Desert Storm. We actually have devices. I forgot the names for the.
I forgot the nomenclature too. Yeah, but
right.
we have.
But they can use these waves or these frequencies to deter riots, right? And they can point them at us or individuals and either strike fear in somebody. I've heard this is alleged. I don't have any proof, but I did hear that they possibly even have frequencies that they can point at you and to redirect at humans that can induce bowel movements. So, I mean, it's some. But here's what I definitely want to tap into this, right? Because since we're on this whole music thing, we have to understand the composition of music and the composition of these frequencies. And I believe that, like some of the elite, some of the experts have known about this for centuries, right? Look at film in general, film and score music, right? And if you start looking and just understanding how the body resonates to music, when we're watching horror films, right?
I don't.
Well, if you did, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Say when y'all
during those episodes, right? They're hitting these different types of chord progressions, frequencies.
Yes,
once again, that are supposed to invoke some type of emotional response in human beings, right? Now, it's ironic that in real life, when you're in these scary moments of scary chord, you don't get any theme music. There is no score music.
There's no theme music.
But the point is that in score and film, they are trying to direct that and if you will, tailor that experience.
They're directing your response to what you see on the screen.
Absolutely.
Yes. And for anybody that's just joining us, this is the Facts in 15. It might stretch a little farther, but we're discussing music and healing and how they are, how music can virtually heal us. It guide us, direct us, set our mood, set our set the vibes that we give off that other people can feel. Music is such a powerful entity. And Corey, when you sent us some information for us to use, so excuse me while I look away from the camera for a second, but you sent us some information that we could look up, and something that you sent us, I just wanted to bring my cell phone up so I could. It's called Frequencies in the Body, and this is it's called healthandbass.com. This is where this came from, and this talks about how bass frequencies in particular, like 40 hertz, are used.
Can y'all elaborate on what 40 hertz is for maybe a person who doesn't know or a person who's not, what does that mean?
Well, hertz, megahertz, those are names for frequencies, for levels, for frequencies of sound, either higher or lower.
Right, ranges within those frequencies. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
thank you, because I didn't know that. I asked for myself. I'm not gonna lie and say I was asking for somebody else. I'm not asking for a friend. I was asking for me.
It's okay. So now you can give it to somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, megahertz are just frequent, or is the measurement of, if you will, of those frequencies.
Okay.
Right. So, this thing said frequencies in the body, says the human body is a symphony of sounds. Every chakra, and I'll go over chakras in a moment, but every chakra, every organ, every bone, every tissue, every cell has its own resonant frequency or sound. It says when an organ is out of tune with the rest, the entire body is affected. And it said this disharmony leads to a state of disease and disintegration. And I won't read on, but that's just
that says a lot. That statement alone says a lot, though.
It says a lot. It says a lot. And when I knew that we were going to approach this subject, there's a company called Whole Tones, and I think it's wholetones.com. I think if you look, but there are a company that sells products that generate sound to promote healing, to promote sleep, to reduce anxiety, and promote healing. And Dr. Zach Bush, this is a quote that he had on that website, Whole Tones. He says, "I have witnessed thousands of healing modalities, products, and technologies over the course of my career that have bridged academic medicine and pharmaceutical research." Then it says, "The power of sound healing dates back to the earliest healing traditions on our planet." It says, "But it has been lost in the modern chaos of our pharmaceutical-minded society." It says, "Whole Tones delivers a unique approach and simple practice to deliver the potent, energetic alignment." And I like that word because aligning the spiritual man and the physical man. It says alignment that has been achieved only with years of meditation. So, and again, I had talked about how I attribute if anybody that doesn't know that might be watching, I'll be 66 in a few months. So I am, praise God, I am not on any life-saving medicine. I'm not diabetic. I'm not taking any prescribed medicine to keep myself going whatsoever. I have all my original, knees and hips and all that. So
you're an archaic model. Is that what you're saying, Dad?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Is that what they call a classic when it has all the original material?
Yeah. All original pieces.
But I learned, like I said, I stumbled by attacking singing again. Like I said, I stumbled onto how to use yoga and sound in meditation to evoke the healing within this body.
And you guys, I'm going to go off topic just for a half of a second, but okay. I want to share this because it popped in mind. So prior to, us getting ready to come on the show today and talk, I got a random call, and it's and it actually rolled to my assistant. And then my assistant, me and her were on the phone together, and she says, and thank you guys for those who are watching. Y'all, please give us some comments. If you guys have questions, please. We definitely want to make this show inclusive. So Tina says, "Hi, this Charmaine. I'm actually on the phone with Charmaine right now." He's like, "Well, I'm looking for my dad." And I thought, well, okay. And so I said, "Well, tell him I'm going to call him right back." I thought, well, if somebody's calling looking for their dad, maybe it's a family member. So I called the guy back, and he was, I just say, you could tell he had some mental issues going on. Hey, Jackie. And but I listened to him because at that point in time, I could tell that he needed someone to listen to him. He was looking for his dad, and his dad wasn't responding to him, and his mom worked hard, and he's disabled, so he couldn't work. And he was like, and I'm just hoping that somebody could see something special in me. Gave me chills. And so I had to tell him, I said, you definitely have something special in you. We all have something special in us. And even though you have a disability, you have a gift. And, he was good at that point in time. So I'm not saying that my voice was that healing sound, but I was able to say some things to him to definitely make him feel better in that moment.
And in that moment, it was a healing sound. See, and how what we say and the tone in which we choose to say it affects people greatly. I know that one of the things that I am proud of, and one of the things that has weakened me over the years, is the ability of people's words to affect my outcomes. I had to learn that I can't respond. I can't control what anyone says to me or the manner in which they say it. I can only control how I respond to it. And I want to denote the difference in responding and reacting, because when you react to something, you don't think, you just react. But if you respond, you take time to make a choice. So yes, and I had to regather that and learn that those responses are where my power comes from, and they belong to God through me, imparted to me. So
it's not what you're called, is what you respond to.
That's right. So Corey, I wanted to ask you really quick. Have you been using sound and healing? Because you look like you're in pretty good shape. Looks like you've been taking care of yourself.
Like I said, you are my senior, but I just turned 50 in August, so
There you go.
Not really suffering from much. I've never been one to pop pills. Like, man, music, to be honest, man, music is my entire life. Music is like, if I wasn't teaching, like, I do work in the capacity of a professor. I work in information technology. I absolutely positively need stimulation, right? Constant stimulation. I have what's called a restless mind syndrome. Meaning I really have trouble and difficulty putting my mind to rest, right? So a lot of times I actually absolutely have to have sessions with music. Like, once my work is done for the day, that is something that I religiously just indulge in. It's so healing. It definitely provides a lot of just comfort for me. And just being able to kind of resonate in that music and is definitely helpful in kind of putting things back in perspective for me. I think you used the word, I'm going to echo it again, the alignment. The alignment that music provides is there's nothing like it on the planet. Now, in addition to listening to music, I also compose music.
Which I want to talk to you about off when we get
off topic, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I got you.
Okay.
And I get it. Like, my style of music might not be for everybody, but I've tapped into various chords that do strike different types of emotions. I'm very intrigued about being able to set a tone for an individual, or for a listener, if you will. So I'm very in tune with the chord progressions that can invoke certain types of responses in human beings, right? And that is where my mastery. That's where I'm trying to take the mastery with my music now, with some of my compositions, being able to. First of all, we got to identify those chords, and then being able to kind of finagle those into a composition as well.
Yeah, and it's, music is it allows us to not only soothe us from the outside in, but the creative aspect allows us to give some of that inspiration, to express some of that inspiration that we are given through listening, through meditation, through the other parts of it. It is again a beautiful thing. Charlie, do you use music to soothe the savage Charlie?
That's right. To keep me going. And look at what I was thinking. I was like, so we know that music is healing and it feels good to the soul. So I'm thinking maybe I just need to start singing for loans, right? Singing for my mortgage business. I don't know, am I going to run people away or what? But no, I do. I mean, I have songs that make me feel good. I mean, there's all different songs that can strike different emotion in me. But I think the biggest thing that I love and the takeaway of today is that music is healing for the soul. And we need to make sure that we include songs that is healing for our souls,
right?
And for our children's souls. We need our children not to be angry.
Not to be angry.
To be happy. Our children need to know how to solve problems through their music. We're gonna have problems. I'm full of them.
I have
one more. I may run out of paper, but I think that I definitely do, and I think that the kids as parents, we need to teach our kids about the music that's going to make them feel good. And I'm not talking about running the kids away because we're saying don't listen to that music. It's back in that's devil music. Not that, but just saying, hey, there's something else. There's another song that you need to listen to with me. Maybe this is a song that made me feel good growing up. This is a song that actually made me feel good when I had a problem. And on a different level.
Yeah, no, music should be.
Y'all say hello to Jackie. She said good information.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that definitely helped me though, Charlamagne, is that having both my mother and my father were very musically inclined. Mm-hmm. And what you're talking about is really exposure, right? Now I get it. They didn't really appreciate my music so much at the time, right? Like, it was just rap and this and that. But even though they were kind of somewhat supportive, there was a lot of, like I said, like, we came into the era of explicit music and explicit lyrics. Yeah. And I can see why a parent would shy away from that. But what I'm really trying to say is that early on, I do appreciate the exposure that my parents provided me with, right?
Right.
Especially if you lose a parent. Like, if you don't have a parent anymore, I can pull back those music, and I can recalling that music is actually recalling some of the lessons,
those lessons.
Even the smells, right? Even the smells from my childhood will all come back as a memory. And it's really, really, really very vivid. And what I would say is, yes, I would definitely recommend exposing children to a variety of different types of music. You know, so.
Yeah. And I want to speak very briefly, because I know we got to get off here pretty quickly, but I want to speak briefly to what you said, Charlamagne, about the whole devil music thing. Well, I mean, but because especially in the United States, our government has a propensity to want to try to attempt to regulate behavior. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And behavior is not a legislatable issue. I'll use it as a moral issue. I won't use the word religion because I don't want to scare anybody, but it is a moral issue. It is our values dictate our behavior. So, and our politicians today, they say, well, I don't want you to read this book, or I don't want you to listen to this, because they know that they don't have a better way. So they want to try to control you by keeping you from listening to what they or reading what they assume or profess to be negative. But if you are instilling in a nation, instilling in a culture, instilling in a neighborhood the right principles and values, so what if they hear it or see it? They're not going to go with it if they have the right foundation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue that we face in this country overall. We got to quit trying to legislate people's behavior, and put money into communities where people can really have an education. Show if you think that your whatever tradition or religion that you hold, you think is the right way, be an example of that. Don't shy away. People need to see examples so they can learn from them. So be whatever it is that you profess to be, and then maybe others will follow. But don't fight with them because they're not what you are. Be what you're supposed to be, and let them see the advantage of it.
That's right. And so I'm going to say a little cuss word, y'all, but there's a song that I love, but basically the word is free your ass.
Free your mind and your ass will follow.
That's right.
It's the same song I quoted earlier.
Yeah. So you guys, real quick, Jackie said it's good information. She also says that we have to be careful with what we're feeding our spirits. And lastly, she said music is a whole vibe. It takes you back to the place where you were during that time. And that's so true. So, this topic here is amazing. And, even just what we've talked about, I think we've brought up some topics that people really maybe don't think about, because music is something that I think we can all, I know I have taken for granted, right? You know, how important it is to our hearts, our minds, bodies, and soul, just as a whole. So we definitely want to continue this and keep talking about music and how it can be beneficial to all of us, and just help us, back in, R&B, rhythm and blues, blues, soul music, all the different things that just make us as one. Music brings us all together, if anything else, it definitely brings us all together and helps us vibe on that frequency, but we need to do it positively.
Right. Absolutely.
So we can help our youth and even help ourselves, I just see a lot of angry people that are just missing out because they don't know how to take that moment to soothe themselves.
Well, we'll help ourselves we'll help our youth by helping ourselves. I'm also a youth development specialist with Future Leaders Outreach Network. And I think I said this a couple weeks ago when we were in the classroom working with troubled kids. And one of the young ladies stood up and said, okay, y'all in here talking all this stuff. Answer me this. Why do adults do things in front of us that they don't want us to do?
Right.
The rubber met the road right there.
Yeah.
Rubber met the road right there. And all I can say is, I called her my young princess. I apologize for all of us because you're right. We should not be doing things in front of you and then telling you not to do them. Yeah.
Lead by example, right? Lead by example.
Lead by example. So that's and hopefully through music we can get in touch with the spirit man, the spirit woman, and then we can get back to leading by example. These kids are out here shooting each other, shooting schools because they're angry.
Right.
And they're angry.
Well, does that have anything? Do you believe it has anything to do with perhaps the music that they're listening to? Like,
I do.
What frequencies are they getting? You know, like, I hate to say this, man, and I don't mean to turn up on any artist. Like, I get it, the struggle's real for everyone.
It is.
If you make music, I get that. You're gonna try to do the best. But I can't help but believe that the music provided today provides really no substance. It's confusing music. I don't cook. Cardi B has this whole line in her one of her songs about not cooking and not cleaning, and I don't know. I feel like if our youth are listening to music that's providing this negative overtones, then it's only going to be manifested in the things that we're actually witnessing right now today in these same youth. So.
Because again, in that song me and Charlie are talking about, once you allow that thought to be felt as true in your conscious mind, you say, well, this is where I'm from. This is no, it's not. Right. Yeah, that's where you live. That's not where you're from. You know. Right.
And look at
you are from something much greater. That's just where you live.
That's right. And look at, I will tell you, I sing that song, but I know I got a ring from cooking and cleaning. It wasn't from not cooking and cleaning, because don't nobody want somebody that can't take care of the household. You know what I mean?
But so, Charlamagne, you're an older Black woman. I would expect that you know that. Right. My problem is that maybe somebody 13, 14, or a little bit younger might not get that and might not understand that, and they're going to take that message wholeheartedly, right?
Right.
And what I'm just saying, what might be the end result if that is the type of frequencies that they are consistently fostering?
Oh yeah,
and they're not being provided with any alternatives.
That's right. Exactly.
Frequencies
like,
are
like this song right here. That's going.
Well, I was about to use him as an example. The reason that Maze is one of the most Maze is a phenomenon. The only other group I can think of that people actually followed them around wherever they went, on buses, in cars, was the Grateful Dead. And Corey, I don't know if you remember the Grateful Dead.
I do.
People followed them around.
Yes.
And other than the Grateful Dead, the only other act I can think of in the history of music that people really followed was Maze. I mean, like literally, followed them around. And that's because of the tones, the chords that they evoke in their music. You know,
you can't help but this is a whole vibe.
You know, one of Maze's first hits. Is that Happy Feelings?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Watch this shine down on me.
That's right.
So, you
know,
I'm
gonna
spread my wings. Yeah. See, that's what it's about, being fed, because music is like a key. Tones that words that create negativity, that create violence, tones that create anxiety. Those are unlocking doors in our psyche for us to promote those feelings.
Right.
You know, the reason that people leave church feeling so good is just as much from the music that they absorb as the word that they hear. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, and they're not going in there and hearing kill these white men, kill these white. You know, they're not going in there hearing that kind of music. They ain't going in there hearing music that denigrates women. You know, that promotes violence, that promotes anger. You know, they're not going into church hearing that kind of music. And if they were, they would walk out of the church.
Right.
Angry.
Well, you guys, this is definitely a part 3 and 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So to be, so we want to definitely keep it short because we don't want to lose anybody. We thank everybody for tuning in. Please, comment, if you couldn't watch the whole show, come back and watch it. Thank you, Corey, for definitely coming on, providing your intellect and, your experiences through music. Dad, I grew up in that household, listening to music, my dad singing, and again, having that same love for it. I was taught to love it. I was taught to understand it. I was taught to feel it. And so, with that being said, I thank y'all so much for being on today. Y'all want to have any closing remarks?
Just remember, thoughts become
love
things.
Music. Love music.
And guard what you listen to. Guard what you. Paul said to guard our thoughts, because our thoughts become things. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And
think love,
think peace.
Well said, Juan. Very well said, Juan.
Yes.
You know?
And thank you, Leonos. I would just pronounce your name wrong. Mr. Richardson, he just said, keep being amazing. So thank you. You keep being amazing as well. You guys, thank y'all for tuning in and watching. And so until next week, we'll be coming back. This week was more than 15 minutes. But next week, we're going to come back and we're going to keep talking about music and how it can make us better as a people. So y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye, you guys.